Hi, everyone. I hope that you guys are all doing great. So today we're going to be going over quiz 6 review. This is the last quiz of the semester. So if you made it this far, congratulations. So we're going to be going over, this is section 3.3 and 3.4. So please make sure that you have your notes out for this section, PowerPoints for these sections. We're going to be needing them for this quiz. So again, this is a review of what you should be expecting on your quiz, of course, with different tweaks. Definitely not identical to the quiz, but definitely gives you that certain flavor. All right, so the first thing that we're going to go over is talk about implications. So if P, then Q. So we want to change the given statement using an if and then statement. So if I have all iPhones are expensive, how would I change that to an if and then? So if it's an iPhone, then it is expensive. That's the first question. So this is the statement that's going to be given to you. All iPhones are expensive. How can I change that to an if and then? So if you have an iPhone, so if it's an iPhone, then it's going to be expensive. Okay. Now, no dogs like seafood. How would you change that to an if and then? So if it's a dog, then it does not like seafood. Okay. So the not part goes in the end. Okay. So if it's a dog, then it does not like seafood. You're not going to do if it's not a dog, it likes seafood. No. So if it's a dog, then it does not like seafood. Okay. That's the if and then statement. Those are called implication statements. Question number 2, determine if the conditional statement is true or false. So for that, I put over here a side note. Implications, you have a truth table for implications. So if P, then Q. Remember, you have P and Q, and then you have the implication P implies Q. So your truth table, T, T, F, F, your usual. And then the next one is T, F, T, F. Now, true, true gives you a true. True, false gives you a false. F, T, T, F, F, T. So the only one that is false is if you have a true and then a false. Okay. So here, F is false. So if you have F implies 3 greater than 5. Is 3 greater than 5? No. So if you have F and F, you're looking at F and F, that implies a true. So this is true based on the truth table. Now here, T is a true statement. So this is T. And then 5 is equal to 3 plus 2. Yeah. So T implies T. Let's go up here again to our truth table. T and T gives me a T. This is true. Again, this is P implies Q. Okay. So here again, P implies Q, where P is F and Q is F. So 2 F's gives you a true, 2 T's gives you a true. Okay. Again, you want to make sure you have this available with you. You need to know how to do your truth tables. Okay. Now, what if I give you 3 different statements, write the compound statement in words. And I'm giving you the implication. So if I want you to negate P implies negating Q, you focus your eyeballs in P and Q. So if you're negating P, the snake is a reptile. So the snake is not a reptile. If the snake is not, remember that this squiggly is negation. So if the snake is not a reptile, then his habitat is not the desert. You're looking at the negation of not P and not Q. If not P, then not Q. So if the snake is not a reptile, then his habitat is not the desert. Okay? Remember, you're negating because this is not P implies not Q. The implies means if not P, then not Q. So this is if not P, then not Q. So you're going to be, your solution is this one. You're writing it out. Okay. Now, again, similar. If I have R, P, and Q, and I have this statement, if I spend money, then I will not go to Disneyland. So what do I have? If I spend money, so I have Q, this is Q, then I will not go to Disneyland. This is P. And you're doing what? You're negating P. So then this means Q implies not P. If Q, then not P. So you're going to be looking at this sentence now, and you're going to be writing this implication. So you want to go first again. If I spend money, where is the money coming from? It's coming from Q. You're not negating Q. And then saying, then I will not go to Disneyland. Which one is the Disneyland? That's P, but you're negating P. That's why we have Q implies not Q. Okay? Okay, so I hope so far everybody is understanding the concept of negation and implication if and then. Ready, so let's scroll down. Now, given that P is true, they're already telling us, and Q and R are false, then find the truth value. So what do we know? Well, we know that we're going to be, this is negating R. So if R is false, then this will become true. And if we have P, remember P is true, or not Q. Not Q would be true, right? You're negating everything. So you're negating Q. The negation of Q would be true. Now we work from inside out. What is T or T? T or T, if we use the truth table, remember we have P, Q, P or Q. So if we have true, true, false, false, we have true, false, true, false. True or true, that gives us a true. And then true or false, true, false or true, true. The only false is this one. So true and or true would be a true. Then true and true is also a true. And you will also have to look at the truth table for P, Q, P, and Q. Remember, because we're treating them as P's and Q's. So the truth table for an and or, you have to know those by heart. So true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false, true and true, that's a true, true and false, that's a false. They're all false except for the first one. So true and true will give me a true statement. So you have to be working from inside out. The final answer would be a true. Okay. So you're going to have to be doing that for your problem. So make sure that you know all of the truth tables. So now construct a truth table for this implication. So this one's going to be kind of long. So right now we only have two variables, P and Q. So right now, if we have two variables, what do we know about the two variables? Well, we know that there's going to be 4 rows, right? Because that's 2 squared, which is 4. So you start with your P, you start with your Q, and then you have negating P, right? You have the negation of P, and you have the negation of Q, and then you have negating Q and P. And then the last part is the implication, not P implies not Q and P. So you always start with true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Now, you're negating P, so you're going to take all of these statements and you're going to negate it. So then not true would be false, false, true, true. You're negating Q, now you're going to be looking at this column and you're going to be negating that column. So it'd be F, T, F, T. I'm negating Q. Now, this is not Q and P. So I'm looking at this column and this column. So I'm going F and T. So F and T. If I look at the truth table for an AND statement, F and T, that's going to give me an F. And then again, I'm looking at T and T, that's a T. F and F, that's an F. T and F, that's an F. Remember, the only true for an AND statement is T and T. Now I'm looking at not P implies not Q and P. So for that, I'm going to be looking at the negation. So this one negating and the one that I just did, and I'm going to do an implication. What do you mean an implication? Yeah, I'm going to assume that this is P and this is Q. So if P implies Q. So F implies F. What is that? Two F's will give me a true. F, T will give me a true. T, F, that's the one, only one that gives me a false. How do I get that? Again, look at the implication of if and then right here. T, F, that's the only F. The rest are true. Right here, F and F, that's a true. F implies T, that's a true. Now T implies F, that's an F, and then T, F again, it's an F. So your answer is this one. This is your solution. TTF. Okay. And that is your truth table for this particular. So we started with P and then Q, and then, sorry about that, P and then Q, and then negation of P, negation of Q. It's a process, step by step. Okay. So you want to be very careful here. You want to make sure that you look at this a few times. Now this one, construct the truth table for. Now this one has three variables. Which three? It has P, it has Q, it has R. Three variables. So this means it's 2 to the third, which is 8 rows. So again, we're going to have P, we're going to have Q, we're going to have R. We're going to have, again, like you don't have a negation of P, so we don't need a negation of P. You have a negation of Q, and you have a negation of R. Now you're going to have the P implies not Q, and you're going to have P implies not R, and then you're going to have P implies not Q, implies P and not R. Okay, come along, I know, that's okay. So the way that you do 3 rows, or 8 rows, is the following. True, true. There's 4 trues on the first, and then there's 4 false, 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 false. Here, you're gonna have true, true, false. This is a true. False, it alternates true, true, false, false. And then the other one is T, F, T, F, T, F, T. Now you're negating R. So I'm gonna look at, oh, sorry, you're negating 2, so that should be F, F, T, T, F, F, T, T. You're negating the Q. Now you're negating R. F, T, F, T, F, T, F, T. Now you have an implication of P implies not Q. So I'm looking at this P and not Q. T implies F, that's an F, remember? TF, that's an F. T and T, that's true. T and T, that's a true. F, F, that's a true. So I'm looking at F, F, that's a true. F, F, that's a true. F, T, that's a true. F, T, that's it. T. Remember, the only false of an implication is if you have T and F. So if I have right here, the false TF, but that's the only one, right? TF, TF and TF, those first two are false. Now, P implies not R, so it's going to be again P, but now not R, TF, that's an F. And then that TF, that's an F, T, T, that's a true, true, false, that's a false, true, true, that's a true, false, false, that's a true, false, true, that's a true, false, false, that's a true, false, true, that's a true. The only false is when you have TF, TF. So those are these two locations. Now, finally, I'm going to look at these two. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to do an implication. So FF, that's a true. FT, that's a T. TF, that's an F. TT, that's a T. A T, a T, a T, and a T. Because the only one that has a TF, that's the only one that's going to give me a false. Because I'm doing an implication. Okay. So these can take a long time to do. You have to be very careful with your truths and your false. It can get a little bit tricky. But please make sure you're very organized. That's my hint from me to you. And then be very specific. So your answer is this color. And then you're going to ask, oh, is this a tautology? Well, what is a tautology? That all of them are true. This is not a tautology because you have one false. That completely fails. All right. So now we're going to review a little bit on conditional, converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So the conditional statement is if P then Q. The converse says you just switch it. If Q then Q. The inverse, you're just negating the conditional. So it's if not P then not Q. The contrapositive, you switch and then you negate. Okay. So write the inverse of if I pass, I'll celebrate. So what is the inverse? So if this is P and then Q, so you're just negating P implies negating Q. So this is P and this is Q. This is if I do not pass, then I will not celebrate. So that is your solution. So you are doing the inverse. The inverse says if not P, then not Q. So if I don't pass, then I will not celebrate. And you're doing the inverse. Now write the contrapositive of not P implies Q. So remember, contrapositive, you have to switch and negate. So then you switch and then negate. So not Q implies P. And this is your answer. So if you're given a statement like not P implies Q, you first switch it and then negate it. So I switched P implies not P. Sorry, Q implies not P, and then I negate it. So then Q, the negation would be not Q, and then negate gives your original P. Okay. Now the converse, we just switch. So again, the converse is just if Q then P. If so, the converse, you just switch. So you just switch Q and P. So if Q then P, that's the converse. So if this is P, and then this is Q, you switch it. So you say, if I have lung cancer, then I smoke. So if I have lung cancer, then I smoke. Right? So he who smokes will have lung cancer. Okay. So you're finding the converse of this one. Okay. All right, find the truth table of the conditional statement if and only if. This is called a biconditional. So the biconditional statement is only true when both of them are true. Either T, T, or F, F. Those are the only ones that are true. So if you have 3 is less than 5, if and only if 2 plus 2 is 5. So 3 is less than 5, yes, that's true. If and only if this is false, 2 plus 2 is not 5. So then T and F, if you look at the truth table, T and F is equal an F. So this is a false. The biconditional statement is if both of them are T or T, that's a true, or F and F, the rest will be false. That's the biconditional. You have to know the truth table for all of them. Now write the inverse of not P implies not Q. Remember, the inverse, you're just negating both of them. You don't switch. So that means negate P implies negate Q. So this is P implies Q. Okay? Because you take the original and you do the inverse, that means you're negating both of them. You're not switching. Everything will stay the same. Okay? And that is it for this review. So what do I want you to get out of this review? The most important thing is to know all, you have to know all of the truth tables for the following: P and Q, P or Q, P implies Q, P infinitely Q. So you have to know all of the implications of the truth tables of these. The basic. You have to know the basics. You also have to know how to negate things. So definitely you have to know all of the truth tables for implications and for biconditionals. Okay, so everything that we went through, Please make sure that you go back and you revise all the truth tables and you look at your notes very carefully. I will also direct you to the PowerPoint. So I'm going to show you that you should have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. So this one, make sure you have this one. So the negation of P, the squiggly, okay, it's the opposite value of the conjunction. It's the and it's only true when both P and Q are true. You want to have this with you, okay? Make sure that you have this with you and that you have your notes as well. So make sure you have, I'm looking for these all truth tables. You have to know all of the truth tables and also the conditional statements, the converse, the inverse, contrapositive, all of that good stuff. And then in addition, go to the next one. I'm going to direct you to the truth tables that I want you to know. So these, if P then Q, right? This is a conditional. And the ones that you learned from section 3.1 and 3.2, which is the and the or. Okay. That said, I did complete this review. Please make sure to look over your notes and have those notes in front of you. You are able to use your notes. You will not need a calculator for this quiz. Good luck, and I will see you until the final review. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.